yesterday celebrating our 30th wedding anniversary. And so we did not have an episode of Team Talk Live yesterday, Monday. So I'm here tonight, Tuesday night, with a special young woman who is my guest tonight. And I think you are going to enjoy her. So I'm just going to take a minute and share this so that everybody who's watching or everybody will get a chance to see her. So we are on my business page, which is Kept Consulting Services LLC, and I'm going to make sure I share this out so that you can join us in this conversation tonight. It's not our usual night for Team Talk Live, but I'm so delighted to be here with you. Again, my name is Ann Dillard, and I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. I am the host of Team Talk Live, where we work to transform the lives of and minds of teens and those who love them. And that's what we're doing, okay? So here we are. We're sharing this out. This is always the tricky part for me in getting this set up. Okay, I think I got it. All right. So welcome, Cassie. Welcome. Thank you for being my guest on TikTok Live. How are you?
Hi. Thank you for having me.
Oh, wonderful. I'm so glad you are able to be here. We had a little technical difficulty, but I'm glad you're here with me. So tell me a little bit about yourself. How old are you and what are you doing in life now?
Okay. So my name is Cassie Webb, and people call me Cassie for short. I grew up in Arkansas from when I was born to the age about 12. And then I had moved to New Jersey with my mom and my brother. And since then, I've been in Jersey for the past 5 years. I've had a heck of a 4 years of high school. I just graduated, and I'm about to be a college and freshman at Montclair State. And it's summer, so this is the perfect time just to not have to worry about homework and do things that I love and talking about things like this to other people.
Oh, that is so exciting. And I see that Miss Ileana is on. Hey, Illy.
Hi, Elle.
She
That's one of my best friends. We've been so close since.
Isn't she amazing?
Yes.
Yes. So I am excited that she connected us. She said, there is this amazing young woman that you have got to meet. And so she connected us, and I'm glad that she did.
Me too. I'm very glad. When she told me about it, I was so excited.
Nice. So congratulations on graduation and college acceptance and all that good stuff.
Thank you.
Yes. So I have you listed as an advocate. You're an advocate for teens. You're an advocate for girls learning to get along and all that good stuff. And that's one of the hardest things there is, getting girls to get along.
Yes.
So tell me about what brought you to this. Why did you choose this area to explore and focus on?
I chose this area because it's something that I feel like is always going to be a problem, but one person at a time just makes one relationship easier or one argument go away. And for me, I don't take the time to not get along with certain people. Like, I understand that I won't always agree or always have the same views as somebody else, but I don't think at this point in our lives or at any point in our lives we should be competing with each other. It should be more of a realizing how hard it is what we do as a day-to-day basis together and being as one and not always fighting against each other.
That's very good. And I mean, as a teenager, we usually don't come to that realization. So was there a particular incident or experience in your life that made you decide to say, hey, we could do better as teen girls?
I wouldn't say there was an incident. There was just a book called Girl Up that I read by Laura Bates, and when I read that, it set off so many, like, oh, I remember this a year ago when I went through this with this girl, or I just connected so much with her, and like she had so much power, like that I wanted to express in my own voice with what I've learned from her. So I just kind of went on and did what I wanted to do and just built up from the club that I had started, that all the girls met in a meeting and we just talked about our days that had been going on in the past week.
Wow. Okay. So you started a club in high school, a girls' club?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Tell me about it.
Okay, so the club was called Girls Talk, and it was called that because every Wednesday we'd meet in a room and all the girls would just talk. We'd talk about if we had a really bad assignment, or it was all grades, freshmen to seniors. So if a freshman had a teacher that I had freshman year, it was like, oh, like just be careful, or like this is what she likes, this is what you need to do to be successful in her class. And if it was a sophomore talking to a freshman, or if the lower classmen had like guy problems they wanted to talk about and what we had learned, or if we had problems and what I would say random girls just focusing on that situation helps a lot sometimes, because if you've known people in and out, then they could always have the same like input on that one person, but bring it to a new person or a new couple of girls, they always have different opinions, which I was very open to, and a lot of the girls that attended were very open to. And I just think throughout the year was very successful. I had fun with it. I hope they all did, and I hope it continues next year in the school year as well.
That is so wonderful. I mean, having a space where you can, it sounds like you had some kind of mentorship going
Yes, it was. Yes, I
and
was
a lot of
very.
support.
Yes, I was very thankful. It took a little bit of push to kind of let the club pass, but once our principal approved it, he was all go for it. He supported me since day one, and he really got me through it and let me do what I really wanted to do.
That's so exciting because it takes a lot of initiative to do something like that.
Yeah, I wasn't ever really scared or nervous. I was really just eager to get all of what I had inside to tell other people. And like, I have too much love in my heart to just not share it with somebody else that needs it.
Wow, that's remarkable. Now, you said that you read this book and the book had an impact on your life. Now, what else in your life gave you that strength and that courage to try to bridge the gap and make things easier for girls?
Well, a big point in my life that I talk about all the time is self love and self confidence and self respect. And freshman year, I was very overweight. I still, like, it was very hard for me to run. My body was unhealthy. Like, just I was putting so much food in my system that I didn't even feel good. And sophomore year, I had decided to kind of change that around, and I had lost weight. I was on the cheer team running perfectly fine. I was on the track team. I became like happier with myself, which made me want to do more things that I wasn't comfortable in my own skin before. So I grew as a person and grew my self love specifically in that area.
That is remarkable. So you changed your whole eating habits and you became more active and it seemed like your self-esteem improved with that.
Yes, ma'am, it did.
Okay. So you just had to share it with the rest of the world, huh?
Yeah, yeah, I guess you could say that.
That's awesome. Well, let me take a second just to welcome our guests who are here. My cousin Daniel is here, Joseph is here, and Miss Illy is here. And she said, Cassie knows me more by my last name. Oh, Miss O.
Oh yeah.
I'm so proud of her in her work with Girls Talk. She was very influential with other teen girls. That is remarkable. And
Thank you.
I have a question for you. And my cousin Daniel says, what was the impact of this program at your school? What was the outcome? Now, Miss O says that it was impactful for the other girls, but what else did you hear about the program? How did it impact the girls?
Like my presentation that I did.
Yeah, we're gonna lead up to the presentation, but
Okay.
having the girls talk group, how was that impactful?
I think clearly, like Miss Okereke said, that it was impactful to other girls, but then personally, on a personal note, it impacted me to want to do more. Like, it was a big risk taking this and just trying to help, like, if I knew it was going to help or not. But then when the result came out that it did help them, I was like, oh, I want to do this more. I want to continue this. I want to help somebody else and helps of them helping somebody else. And it just being a chain reaction and not and it becoming more of an idea that I had in my head.
That's again, I think that's really remarkable as a person who's run girls groups in high schools and middle schools. Just having a forum where you can go and feel safe and identify with other girls is priceless.
Yeah, and that was really a main goal that I had. That was probably one of the points I mentioned to our principal when I went and then asked if I was allowed to do this.
Wow. So is there somebody who's going to continue this girls group?
I I had somebody planned and plans had kind of changed and didn't work out. So I'm waiting to assign it to another friend of mine. She's a sophomore. And so she's been a person that I feel like I can count on for the long run. So she'll be running it her junior and senior year. I just haven't let her know yet because I need to get things set up before I hand it over to her.
Okay. Well, I hope things work out well with her.
Well, thank you.
Yeah, because it's very important to have again a forum like this.
Mhm.
So tell me, what would you say has been the most influential piece of advice that you've received or that you've been able to pass on to the girls that you've worked with?
If I could choose two words, it would be love and support. I don't believe that you can do anything without love, including self love or even support. Like, you need to support yourself. And even through this whole journey, I had people that loved me and supported me, and that just makes you feel like you have more drive to do what you want to do. And love is unavoidable. Like, you love your dog, you love the sun. Like, it's just there's so many things in life that go on that is unavoidable. And help from other people and support is another thing that comes along and follows love with wherever you go.
Wow. So what would you say to a girl who would say, Cassie, I don't have any support. I don't even know of anybody who really care for me.
Yeah, I've gotten that question a couple of times, and I personally, if anybody ever says that, I'm like, I can really understand where you're coming from, because when I was in my young teen years, I really wasn't as close with my parents as I am now. The friends that I had, it wasn't really real. It was just kind of like a friendly manner. So what I did is I found things that I loved and things that I connected with that could support me in my own way. I had started playing guitar, so when I just kind of my head got full, I went to go play, and I enjoyed writing a lot and coloring. So if my head was full again, like, I just cleared it. And once your head is clear, you can kind of come to your senses of what's wrong, and then you can make yourself better to put yourself in a position to have somebody help you, to let somebody help you and give you the support that you do need.
Wow, those are really, really important tools, really, that you just shared. And as a therapist, those are some of the things that I tell my clients to do. You know, journal, write, get it out of you, right? And
Yeah,
also,
that's very important.
it really is. And spend time doing something that, or developing a skill, because if you're focused on that, it's hard to focus on being depressed.
Yes, ma'am.
That's excellent. So I just want to say welcome again. Welcome to my guest, and Miss um, O says those are very good tools, and I totally agree. So tell me about your presentation that you
I
did.
appreciate her so much.
She is. You can
Oh,
finish.
yeah, yeah.
Cut you off.
No, that's fine. That's fine. I just mentioned how supportive she's always been to me. So transitioning that, she has been supportive with my presentation the whole time. And my presentation started from wanting to grow my club more because situations and topics have were reoccurred when they had talked a lot about in the group. So I related to a lot of them. So I was just like, look, like let's do something about it. Let's not have just 20 or 30 people share about it every week. Like let's have somebody else hear about it and hear what somebody else goes through, just so they could have the strength to even get through it on their own, or at least some point of inspiration, like how the book was for me. And so I had went to our like, I guess you could say, board. I went to the principal's office. I talked to a bunch of people, and at first I was completely denied. Like I was told that I was too young to even do this big of a project, and I was too young to accomplish things like this. And I was like, no, like I really didn't think I was. So my first reaction was I went to talk to Miss O'Carrick, and she was like, no. Like, so then when I had my supportive no, I was like, okay, let's make this a little more presentable. Let's make this. So I had made a billboard presentation, like basically the layout, the objectives I wanted to have, and how it was going to be laid out with time. And I took that to the office, and it wasn't a no. We set a date for when my presentation was going to be done and when it was going to be approved. And then the following week, I had time to practice it on stage. And then we picked the date for the actual presentation. And the presentation is just, it's based on a female's roller coaster and the ups and the downs we go through, like as being a female individually, like waking up and having to do our hair, is our makeup, do we have the right shoes on, this and that, does it match? The girls, do I have higher than them? Like just, and I wanted to tell everybody about what I thought and what I've been through. And so I shared my 4-year roller coaster with everybody in the audience.
Oh my goodness. What format did you use? Was it storytelling? Was it video? Was it song? Was it in with the arts, or how did you share?
It was just more of me like speaking from my heart. I had a PowerPoint up there that had a lot of pictures on there to show my transformation with a lot of things that I went through. And then there was also in between pictures, there was a lot of bullet points, like as if reference of, if this is going on, this is what you can do, this is who you can call, this is what you can do to fix it, or just things like that that I was able to share with them as me going through those experiences.
That is so amazing and so powerful. I could just imagine how impactful that was to be in the audience, and somebody who's your peer is giving you skills and techniques and tools to use. That is amazing.
Thank you so much. It was so much fun. I enjoyed it. I hope I can continue to do it for a long time.
Oh, wow. Well, I hope you can continue to do it. I hope you'll take it on to college with you because the freshman year in college is no joke. And I bet that the things that you shared and the tools that you shared with your high school class, well, how many people were in the audience?
I personally don't have an answer to that. I
Wow.
just know I just know a lot of the girls there had reached out to me on social media and just said thank you, or they had more questions about what I said because of what they were going through, and it just that meant so much more to me than just I remember one girl in particular. I did the presentation 4 times, and on my second time she had reached out to me and she was like, I needed to hear that so much, like I'd been going through half of what you talked about these past couple years. And oh, it just put such a smile on my face, and I was just so happy to do this, and it made me want to reach out to a lot of more girls like her.
That's pretty powerful. That's transformative. Um, can you share with us one of your stories, like from one of your high school experiences?
Yeah, probably one of the biggest things that I made the biggest point of in my presentation was, like I said, like the self love, self confidence, and self respect. And I gained a lot of that as I was going through my medical condition called absence seizures. And I was diagnosed with that about 2 years ago, summer going into junior year. And I was depressed. I just wanted to go in my room and sleep or cry. I just wanted to lay in the dark. I didn't want to go anywhere. I was very upset. And on top of that, the medication I was taking, my I had an allergic reaction to it on my face. So I had bumps all over my face. It just looked like horrible acne, and it was so embarrassing to go out in public. So all I wanted to do was stay home and just let the storm rain on me, I guess you could say, instead of trying to do something about it. So
Wow.
then after that, I had I felt like I was stuck for a little while. I felt like I didn't have a lot of hope that I was ever going to feel happy again. And the doctor I had really worked for me, and she really worked for my best interest. So she had gotten me out of my hole a little bit. And then I was, I had an appointment with a dermatologist that put me on a face medicine that just cleared my skin completely. And that was a major self confidence and self booster, and the self love, and also to gain the self respect that I had, because it was like, okay, like you didn't look good, but you still had your personality. Like, you need to respect that you kept your character this whole time, and now it's even stronger because you dug yourself out of it. And um, I could probably talk to somebody forever, and just I feel like people were able to get me out of the hole, our particular parts with girls, because they'd be, oh, your face is clearing up, like you seem so much more happier, your smile looks great. And it just that is the support and love that I've received during one of the hardest points of my time.
Wow. That I can just imagine how hard that was to go to school, and sometimes probably having girls being cruel because
Mm.
sometimes
Oh yeah,
sometimes
no,
they are.
that's always been a factor. That probably always will be. But if you have the mind to just go over it and help somebody else that accepts it, then it's so much easier than just feeding into it.
That's so true. And in your experience, where do you think that cruelty comes from?
I think it comes from either jealousy or attention. I probably pinpoint attention more, because a lot of the times when people are cruel in general, like there's people around them that are watching, or there's people that it's never just by themselves. If
No.
you ever have a one-on-one with somebody, it's more of like a argument, not a you being a target of what you have. So I would probably go with jealousy or being an attention seeker.
I would so be right along with you with that. I remember when I moved to the United States, it was the girls that gave me the hardest time. It was just so hard. And it was never one-on-one. It was always
Mm-hmm.
in a group. Always in a group.
Yes.
And I'm so glad that you persevered through that and you found the support that you needed.
Yeah. Oh, thank you for that. And it just, not that I kind of went out and looked for the support. It was the support kind of came to me naturally because, or not naturally, I should say, but other females were willing to help. So
Wow.
if they wouldn't have that willingness, then I don't know how I would have gotten through a lot of it.
And how did you find those females or where did they come from? How did you identify those females who were able to help you?
A lot of them kind of took self initiative and courage. And I guess you could say standing up for others or personally coming up to you and being like, look, this happened to me a year ago. I know it's hard. Or it's just if somebody were to make fun of you for something and they notice, they'd bounce back if and be like, I really like your shoes. If somebody said that your hair wasn't looking good, then they were just, you noticed it along the way, and then sooner or later you noticed it a little more, and then if you needed help, if they needed help, you gave it to them just like David, and it just becomes like a friendship, and then you meet others friends that are like them, and it never stops. It's just always a happy compliment road if you find the right people.
That's amazing because, like I said before, girls can be cruel, but that's not all that they are.
Mm-mm.
Wow. And you seem like you found some really
No, we are.
amazing young women who helped you through that time.
Oh yes, I have found multiple, but like my number one has been my sister. She just I find people from her. She is usually kind of my like protector. Like if I start being friends with somebody, she's like, I noticed some things, or you just need to be careful. And she's been one of the main people, along with others, that have helped me along the way.
And is this an older sister or younger sister?
Well, she's only 6 months younger than me, but we have been friends since the first grade, and it just blood wouldn't make us any closer. So that's all I have to say on her. And she's been a sister to me. I wouldn't even say a best friend. She's just done beyond words that I can say, even like family worthy.
Right. Oh, that's amazing. And it's so amazing when you find those people in your life. I've been blessed to find a few of those um
Hmm.
non-womb sisters,
Yes.
where
Yes.
like you, best friend doesn't describe
Mm,
it. And so I
no.
can totally identify with you. And that's so wonderful that you were so blessed to have that person in your life.
Yes, I'm very.
Yes. So, what would you say to, some girls who might be watching or parents of girls who might be watching and they're saying, you know what, I'm not really looking forward to going back to school. This is just really hard. Um, what would you say to a girl who's getting ready to go back to high school and is not really looking forward to it?
I personally feel like if you have something that you aren't looking forward to, like you just need to do it. Like you just need to, it's something that you're gonna have to find and just kind of say, like just do it. Like I hate driving over bridges, but once I'm on the road, it's like you'll do it. You have 20 seconds. Like just go for it. Just go, or everything's gonna be okay. And something that really helped me throughout high school is getting involved, and even getting involved with things outside of your school and meeting new people. And then with a connection that you like, you might find somebody from your school, and then you go to school with them, and it just becomes another friendship you have, or if you join a club, you just feel more involved and it's more of a happy place for you to go instead of something that you dread every day.
Right. And go find a Miss Okereke in your building.
Yes. Yes. I'd most definitely say a lot of people aren't scared to talk, but I like going out and finding people that I can talk to. And Miss Okereke was definitely one of the ones that I just went to, and that was it. We just started talking. At first, for me, if somebody is very like communicative and has like straightforward and is real kind of outgoing, then that's usually the people that I stay pretty close with. But when I went to go talk to Miss Okereke, she was um, more of like a gentle voice, like I understand. She like takes time to process things. So she helped me a lot, like, oh, this is kind of different, like this is different personality, but just as good of a person as anybody else would be.
Oh, that's so wonderful. That is so wonderful. And I wish that more people had somebody like Miss Okereke in their life to help guide them and to be that reasoning, voice of reason. Yeah.
Yes, it's um a lot of people though won't accept the help if they don't feel like they need it. So I feel like if you get on right terms with yourself and figure out how you really feel and what your heart is feeling, what your brain is feeling, and what you want to do about it is such a big step into finding somebody that's willing to help you, because people like that are all out there willing to help you. You just have to be able to let them help you.
Yeah. Well, you seem so intuitive and so into um aware of what's going on with you. How did you come to, to develop this self that you talk about so much?
I don't I I don't think nothing like I understand that I have a personality or like a voice that's very firm and I know what I want, I know what I'm talking about, but it's not just something that happens over a week or something. Like this is my 4 years me. This is my whole lifeline that I've been living. When I was very young, my and I wanted to order food, let's say, my dad would make me go order the food by myself and I'm like 10 years old. Or like he'd make me make a phone call for myself and I was 10 years old. And little things like that built me up to like who I am now and what I like to do. And it just another thing that I found out is a lot of my interest and dislike and kind of like who I am. Like I love reading, I love writing, I like going to the park, I like being in the water. I know that I suck at navigating and that I don't like Coke, and I just know so much about myself. If somebody were to tell me like you're selfish, I'd be like, no, or you're not beautiful. No, I know I am, so you can't tell me I'm not. It takes years to know yourself and to get and build yourself.
I just love it. I just love that you exude this self confidence and this positive self esteem. And, my question is, how come, what kept you from getting lost in the materialistic stuff um, that teenagers usually get lost in, and the social media that kind of closes teenagers off from engaging face to face? How come you didn't get lost in that?
Well, I can't say that I never put myself in a situation that I was vulnerable to get lost in. Like I went to parties, I've hung out with the wrong people. It wasn't something that I was never interested in because I was kind of always focused on kind of my future, and I had those set people that's what mattered to me, and I had my moral set up, and I had what I wanted to do in my life set up. So it was easy for me not to feed into things, and I was um when social media first came out, like freshman, sophomore, and junior year, it was really popular and it still is very popular. But this past Easter, I gave up social media for Lent, and so I just completely distanced myself from, and it that's when I didn't have time to go on social media, so I read some more, or I went outside and I walked my dog because I wasn't consumed in the internet, and it was probably one of the best things I've ever done. So if somebody is wanting to do that, I recommend that. It was one of the best things. The first 3 days are like, oh, like I went through my camera roll like once every hour just because I didn't know what to do with myself. And then after that, it was so great. A part of me doesn't even go on social media as much as I did anymore. So
That's amazing. And Miss Okereke says, my intern helped me out a lot too, but Cassie really does have an innate leadership, self-motivation, self-awareness that has been a driving force for all that she has accomplished.
yes, Miss Carter, her intern, helped me out tremendously, and I feel one of the reasons as though I could trust her and give her all of my ideas with um her response that she truly meant is I didn't find her on how I wanted to start this presentation. She found me. It was her idea that she wanted to start a girls club in the school while she was present, and my personal counselor had directed her into my direction, and that's how we met. It wasn't like I asked her to tag along with me in this. It was something we both wanted to do, and then we both grew it stronger than a club together.
That's so amazing. That is so amazing. What do you want to be when you grow up?
Well, um, I've had this question so much in the past 6 months. I want to be in business, and I want to do advertising, but I think the type of advertising I want to do would be like um, colorful, like images or inspirations, like not all the gossip talk on magazines, but more of like a newspaper article that goes out to females that need help, or to print a like a thing from a book to write to some people, or just things like that. I just know I want to do business and advertise somehow, but something in the heart and what I want to do.
Wow. Well, I have no doubt that whatever you set your mind to, you will accomplish. And
Thank
if
you.
you're ever looking for an internship, hit me up.
Okay, I sure will.
I think you are remarkable, and I think you're just gonna go places, and not just go places by yourself, but you're gonna impact so many lives on your journey. And
I
so
I pray I do.
I believe you've already done it. So I just think it'll just get bigger and better.
Well, thank you.
Well, I am so glad to have Cassie on Teen Talk Live with me tonight. We're talking about, girls getting along, and basically she's talking about finding herself and operating from that place of self, and just doing what she desires to do and being self-motivated. And I'm so excited that Miss Okereke introduced you and I, because it's refreshing to see teens who are focused and are doing something to help other people. And I appreciate that.
Well, thank you.
Yes, yes. So let's just wrap up and share with the teens who are watching. Again, if they're having a difficult time, what's two things that they can do to overcome those challenges, as they, pretty soon they're going to be going back to school. At least in Atlanta, they're going back to school at the end of July. So what would you say?
Um, I would start off by saying let time heal things. That if you're really that worried about going into school, give it time for you to not worry about it, because in a couple months you're going to be worrying about an essay that you have to do, and you're going to forget about being worried about going into the classroom. And another thing that I probably live by and that I tell everybody is 5 for 5. And if it's not going to matter in 5 years, don't spend more than 5 minutes mad over it. So that's probably another rule that if a girl makes me mad, it's like, set your timer for 5 minutes and you can cry and you can do whatever. But then when the 5 minutes is up, you just don't need to worry about it. Just move on and find something else that's going to get your mind off it and put that smile back on your face.
I'm going to have to use that one. Can I steal that?
Yes, you could steal it. I hope everybody does.
5 for 5. Do what you want. Throw a tantrum, cry for 5 minutes, because it won't matter in 5 years.
Yes.
Wow. That's amazing. I love it. I have to use that one.
Go ahead. Use it. Tell other people. I hope it helps people as much as that has helped me.
Amazing. Well, Cassie, thank you so much for being here with us on this episode of Teen Talk Live. And it has been such a delight getting to know you and getting to learn more about you.
Well, thank you for having me. And just if you want to let everybody know, or whoever watches this, if they have any more questions about my presentation, just to follow my Instagram page, Cassandra.Larray, and you can DM me and we could talk about something that you need to talk about or anything on those types of terms.
Excellent. Are you going to be able to drop your Instagram link on my Facebook?
Yes, ma'am, I will.
Okay. All right. So people can find you. Yes, Emmanuel, 5 for 5. That's powerful. But this is amazing. So people can find you on Instagram. Hey, you've got something big coming up next week in New York. What's going on in New York?
Oh, yes, ma'am. One of my friends that I have posted on my I took a couple videos of her posted on my account. She's just all for this. She's all for meeting new people. And I had asked her, I was like, do you want to go to New York and just pull girls aside and just ask them the simple question, like, how does it feel living the life of a female, or something that you would change, or something that you wouldn't change, or something that that's unappreciated as a female. So we plan to on Tuesday to go to pull random people and of course ask them if it's okay, then I'll post them. But if not, it'll just be fun to hear what other people have to say and get more information on a female's lifestyle.
Wow, that's remarkable. Now you have to come back and share what you found during this poll.
I sure will. I sure will.
Awesome. Well, thank you, everybody. Send Cassandra some hearts. And if you are on the replay, please share this out, because she has been such an amazing guest with so much courage. And I just really appreciate her being here and spending this evening with us on Teen Talk Live. Again, I'm your host, Ann Dillard. I'm a licensed marriage and family therapist. And you can find me at www.andillard.com. And I have something really exciting coming up. My first workshop is called I Love My Daughter, But. And that's coming up in September in Atlanta. I Love My Daughter, But. Okay, I have an Atlanta workshop coming up, and also a Minneapolis workshop coming up, September and November. So I'll post those dates so that you can plan to join and share that information up. Sandra, thank you so much again for being here.
Thank you for having me.
Absolutely. And thank you all for watching. Thank you for sharing, and have a good night.